Welcome back to the last episode of this mini-series where we're diving into some questions top of mind for sales and RevOps teams on sales intelligence, AI, and contracts. Today we're back with expert Kyle Jepson from HubSpot to get his take on how sales teams need to be aware of the friction in their tech stack, but also how contract data can help you streamline your quote-to-cash process. So let's go.
In general, anything that slows a sales team down is going to be a big problem. Not just because slower sales teams sell less, but salespeople who are dealing with that sort of situation get frustrated, and you will probably have a hard time retaining them. Right? They will go somewhere else where it's easier to sell. As far as outgrowing the current tech stack, I think it, of course, obviously, if you're hitting any sort of limits, you can't store any more data because you've run out of space or whatever, that would be a problem. But I think also if you're finding that sales reps just aren't using the tools, right, then there is something. It's interesting. You can outgrow a tech stack, certainly, if it's not robust enough to do the things you need it to do. But also, you can have a tech stack that has so many features and is so big and so massive that it's overwhelming, and that doesn't work well for a sales team either. Yeah, so there's kind of two different ways to think about this friction. There's because there's two different experiences happening simultaneously. One is the sales reps experience as they're trying to turn the sale into a contract and get the contract signed. The other is the buyer's experience as they're trying to decide if they want to buy and then sign the contract, right? And again, on the sales rep side, if you're using Sales Hub or any other CRM software, but then to manage the sale, but then when it comes time to send a contract, you have to leave that system and go somewhere else. Or especially if you have to ask another team, hey, can you generate a contract for me? That is serious friction on the sales rep side, right? They have done all the hard work of getting the prospect to the point that they are willing to look at a contract. They want to send that as quickly as possible. If you just got off a call where the buyer is like, yeah, this sounds great, send me the contract, and then it takes you a week to get the contract to them, now you've lost all that momentum. You may have to start over in some sense, right? So on the sales rep side, you want it to be right there where they're working. Then on the other side, on the buyer side, they don't want to wait around forever for a contract. They don't want to get a contract that they don't understand, right? If they are buying a fairly small, simple product and you send over a 20-page document that they have to review, that's serious friction, right? And if it's all in very legal language that a layperson can't understand, that is also friction. And so, I mean, there you see sales teams sometimes getting creative with like sending the contract and an explainer video, right? I want you to notice in paragraph 7, this provision here, which goes back to the thing we talked about on the call. This protects you in whatever way. You know, you want the buyer to have a lot of confidence as they are looking through the contract and signing it. You don't want them to have a really good sales experience and then get to that point and realize, I don't know what this document means, or I don't know how to sign it, right? You just sent me a PDF. I have to go find some e-signature software myself to sign it and send it back to you. All of those barriers you want to remove.
So most companies today work in silos when it comes to the process of selling their products and services and what happens until they actually invoice their customers. When contracts are data-driven and connected to Sales Hub, they stop being just paperwork and become an enabler of quote-to-cash automation. I want to show you today how teams can use Oneflow's two-way sync with Sales Hub to simplify quote-to-cash, reduce friction, and ultimately close deals faster. So any tool that generates a PDF cannot reflect the changes made after sending the quote automatically in Sales Hub, which is going to create friction in the quote-to-cash process. But Oneflow's dynamic contracts allow data to be synced to and from Sales Hub in real time, making sure that invoicing information is actually what was agreed in the contract. So here we are in a HubSpot deal. From here, a rep can create a Oneflow contract that is automatically populated with data from the deal, such as contact information, line items, and invoicing information. Once the contract is updated, those changes can sync back to the deal in HubSpot so the Sales Hub reflects the contract, while saving reps time from unnecessary CRM admin. So why is this important? For sales reps, it removes manual admin, reduces errors, and speeds up closing. For buyers, it creates more of a professional and consistent experience from quote to signature. And for the business, it ultimately shortens sales cycles, improves forecasting, and makes the handoff to finance more accurate so that you can avoid revenue leakage. And that's a wrap for this mini-series featuring Kyle Jepson. So thank you so much for watching and take care.